Hi, welcome to the CareerSprints YouTube channel. My name is Rohit and we make videos that help you with your professional development and continuous learning. Now in this video, I want to talk about 3 PMP experience examples that you can see and understand how to write your PMP application and get approved on the first try. Now in addition to that, we've also covered some important tips and mistakes that you should avoid while writing the application so that you don't get rejected. Now, without wasting any time, let's dive in and look at the 3 examples. So before we dive into looking at the PMP experience examples, we are going to look at what the eligibility criteria for the exam is. So basically, to apply for the PMP, you need to show 36 months of unique, non-overlapping project management experience. That is, if you have a 4-year degree, right? And as you can see, you also need to show 35 contact hours. Basically, what that means is that you need to get a course which provides you with formal project management education. And if you don't have a 4-year degree or a bachelor's degree, then you need to show 60 months of project management experience. This means you may just have a high school diploma or some type of an associate's degree. In those instances, you need to show 5 years of project management experience, and both of these have to be shown within the last 8 years. So assuming you're watching this video in 2025, you can go as far back as 2017 to show this experience. Now, one important thing that I want to explain to you is about what is overlapping versus non-overlapping experience. So if you see in this slide, we are basically trying to look at project 1 and project 2 that will help you understand this concept. So PMI basically says that if you're doing 2 projects and if there is a couple of months of overlap or one project with another project, then what they would do in those instances is that for at least one of the projects, they are going to remove the overlapping months. So to give you an example, you have project 1 here. The project starts in January 2023 and it goes all the way till April 23 or maybe mid of May 23, and then you can see project 2, it starts from March 23 and it goes all the way till June 2023. So what PMI would do is that for project 1, they may just consider January to April, and for project 2, they will only consider the month of May and June. So they will cut out the months of March and April. So that is basically the overlapping experience that project 2 has with project 1, and those months are going to be cut out. So this is the primary difference. Now let's move on and talk about the project management experience and what is considered to be acceptable work experience. So it is just not any general work experience that you can show on the application, but PMI wants to see that you led and you directed projects. They want to see that you were in a position of authority and undertook some major responsibilities in the project, and this needs to properly reflect in your project experience section. So you need to really bring that out. And to be honest, we've seen so many seasoned project managers struggle with this area to properly write their project descriptions for the PMP application. And in the description that you write, you also need to show that while managing the projects, you worked across all 5 areas, or in PMI language, they are known as process groups. So you worked in initiating a project, planning a project, executing a project, monitoring and controlling a project, and closing a project. And the PMI just calls them process groups. So you have to show that you worked across all of these different areas across all the projects that you have done. So in summary, if you have 36 or 60 months of experience and you can show working experience in all process groups, these are the most basic requirements. And if you want to really understand how to write your application, where exactly do you need to go, how to navigate through the PMI portal, where you need to submit your application, how do you acquire the contact hours, you need additional tips on how to write the application, you should go and check out this blog that we have written, which is called How to Fill Your PMP Application Form Like a Pro with Examples. And this is a blog that has been read by over 100,000 people, and a lot of people have benefited from it. It not only answers a lot of the basic questions that people might have, but it also goes deep into answering very specific questions, such as if you're self-employed, how can you write your application? If you are from a teaching background, how can you translate that experience into a project management language? If you are doing your PhD and you're not sure how to translate some of the experience that you may have acquired in your previous working career, or the teaching assistant work that you're doing, we can help you even understand how to translate those areas of experience as well. So go and check out this blog, and it's going to be super helpful for you. Now let's look at the next section, which is about how to write the project management experience and what PMI is exactly looking for in the application. You really want to avoid a situation where your application gets sent back to you or it gets rejected. So these are three crucial things that you need to watch out for, and I'm going to explain to you all of them one by one. So firstly, ensure that you pick up project work and not operational work. Fundamentally, operational work, as you know, is repetitive, is ongoing, but project work is temporary. That means it has a defined start date, an end date, and also projects are meant to accomplish an organizational goal that benefits the company. And I've seen so many people get their application rejected because they struggle with this basic difference between operations and projects. And if you think that writing the application is not your forte or not your thing, then you can use our PMP application review and rewrite service. And this is a very reliable and dependable service, and we will ensure that we write your entire application and get you approved on the first try. You can be totally assured of that. Now, the second thing PMI wants you to use is easy to understand business-like language to explain your project, and not technical jargons or industry-specific terms that sound alien to an average reader. So the person reviewing your application probably has no idea about your industry or the terms that you use in your company, so keep it as layman as you can. And one way to look at it is that what you write should be understood by, say, a high school student, so really don't make it too complex. Strip away as much technical speak as you can from your project description. So that's tip number 2. And the third thing is ensure that you bring out that you had some major responsibilities in the project, and that you just didn't act as a document updater or as a scribe who took notes. You need to explain how you took some key decisions on the project related to budgets, timelines, quality, hiring people, changes. So talk about team management, stakeholder management. What you can do is just go to the process groups, right, and read through them to see what is done in each process group and bring out something from each of these groups. And to just summarize, if you just take care of these 3 major elements, I am pretty sure that you will be able to get the application through the first time without any hassle at all. So now we'll come to the part where I'll talk about the experience examples that you can use just to get an understanding of how you need to actually write your project management experience. So as you can see, this specific example shows you the project title, the project objective, the project outcome, your role on the project, your responsibilities, and the project deliverables. So this is the format that you need to use. So every project will have these points. They will have the title, objective, outcome, role, responsibilities, and deliverables. And this is an example of a mining project, which is more or less a waterfall project. You can see it is written in very easy to understand language. So if you read the objective, it says the objective of this project was to develop and expand mining infrastructure for a large mine in Canada. That's it, right? If you look at the outcome again is very simply written. It says the outcome expected from this project was to develop appropriate mining surface and underground infrastructure to support the successful operations and maintenance of the mine. So the outcome is just the benefit of the project, and the objective is the actual goal that you're trying to accomplish. And if you look at the responsibilities, I've not picked up all the responsibilities, otherwise this would have been a very long project to show, but I've just picked up a few, and you can see that again you've used the PMBOK language here. So you've used terms like project charter, a RACI matrix, a project plan or a project management plan. You've used terms like project work breakdown structure. You've used terms like work packages. You've used integrated change control. You've used terms like non-conformance, variances. You've used terms like quality inspection. So PMI really wants to see all of that PMBOK language in your application. So they want you to be able to connect your work experience with the PMBOK and be able to show that on the application. And if you see, the last section is on the deliverables. And again, the deliverables is just 2-3 lines. It can be 4 lines, maybe 5 lines, but don't make it too lengthy. And if you read, it says the deliverables of this project included the development of various infrastructure components, such as the installation of powerhouses and its associated components and systems, diesel generators and heat recovery systems, modifications to existing mining infrastructure buildings, and installation of ventilation systems. So you can bring out the product deliverables, which means whatever solution you deployed, there would have been some software or hardware related deliverables, so you can bring that out. You can also bring out some project related deliverables like testing and some project documentation that you did. But you really need to be able to bring out the deliverables. So a lot of people omit this section and they'll end up getting their application rejected. So this is a format that you're supposed to use. Let's look at another example. This is a more straightforward example. It's just about promoting a fitness brand. But from my memory, I remember that when I wrote this application, this was predominantly about a self-employed person trying to get their application through. So the objective of this project was to launch and promote a fitness brand with state-of-the-art facilities and an innovative training experience. So that's the objective. You can read the outcome yourself. You can see it says the role is of a project manager. So although this person was the owner of the company, but this person executed the project end to end, right? The person did not even have the title of a project manager. And you can still write that you took on the role of a PM on the project. And then you will see the deliverables. So it says the deliverables of the project included a fully functional fitness brand with all operational processes set up, design of unique physical training experiences, implementation of marketing and promotional strategies, recruited and trained staff, and various process documentation. So again, very simple, straightforward. Even someone who is not from your industry can easily understand by reading this what is it that the person achieved in the project, right? This third example is of a hybrid project that we have, and this is a software development example. So if you read the title, it says cloud-based CRM development for tobacco compliance data management. And since this was a hybrid projects, as you may be aware, is a mix of agile and waterfall. So some elements were agile, some elements were waterfall. So if you're trying to show a hybrid project, you want to bring out both agile and waterfall elements. The outcome is given, but if you look at the responsibilities, this person was a senior person who led the project from the forefront. So it says they developed a business case and were also involved in creation of the project charter. This person also set up the product backlog and coordinated his prioritization with another product manager or owner that was there in the company. They developed team and stakeholder engagement strategies. They facilitated Scrum events. So they used Scrum in the project as well. So you bring out terms like sprint planning, reviews, retrospectives, daily Scrum. And in a agile project or in a waterfall plus agile project, like a hybrid project, you also have progressive elaboration that you do. So you plan as you go along. So that's also brought out in the responsibilities section. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is some additional tips that you should follow so that you're really able to submit an application to PMI that they will accept and they will approve it without any additional hassle. So these are some very key tips, and I think if you follow it, it will be very useful. So firstly, don't write many projects. In fact, I would say the fewer, the better, because just because you show multiple projects on the application, that does not mean that your application is stronger than another candidate's application. And I remember this unique situation where we got this application where the guy wrote 17 projects. That's a lot of projects. And that person's application was rejected within a day of submitting it to PMI. This person came to us and they wanted help to rewrite the application, and we consolidated all of those 17 projects and brought it down to 2 projects, and the application got through. So focus on the quality of what you write and not on the quantity. So my personal suggestion to everyone is just choose 2-3 projects at max that you can show on the application. It's good enough number and PMI will approve it. Secondly, read what PMI wants from you. So as I explained previously, look at the way you need to write out the different sections of the application, right? The description. And don't just copy paste generic descriptions that you get from the internet, like just from another blog or just using artificial intelligence type of software, right? If you do that, in all probability, PMI will fail the application. We get so many people who try to use ChatGPT to write their application, but they just don't understand how to prompt it or how to use the right structure. And in those instances, they do get rejected. And like I said, PMI wants you to have a high-level project title, objective, outcome, your role, responsibilities, and deliverables. So ensure that you follow this format and just not any format. Next is just keep the project's word count to a maximum of 500 words. The actual range is between 200 and 500, so just stick to that. Don't try to exceed that. The person reading your application does not want to get bored with a very lengthy application description. So keep it to that limit. And lastly, just start from your latest project, from your current project, and just work backwards until you reach the total months required, which is 36 or 60 months. So these are some key tips that you should follow. And lastly, before I go on and end this video, I want to address one common question that we get from time to time from a lot of people who are trying to apply for their PMP. And the question is, do you need to be a project manager, or do you need to be called a project manager at your workplace or hold the title to be considered eligible? And the answer is no, right? You don't need to be called a PM or hold that title. You could be called anything in the company, such as a consultant, some other type of manager, or you may be an executive. Or as a matter of fact, even if you're called an operations manager, if you can demonstrate that you planned and executed projects, PMI will approve you without any hassle and issues. So this is a very critical question that a lot of people ask us, and that's your answer. So don't worry if you don't hold the title. As long as you can display project management experience, PMI will get you through. And just one last thing that I want to talk about is that if you need help with writing the application and getting end-to-end approval support, consider using our PMP application review and rewrite service. And this is a service that has been utilized by 500 plus students to get their application through on their first try. This is a very dependable service that's available online, and you can just go to Google, check out our reviews, and you will see that we have several hundreds satisfied customers. Hi, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and you found it to be useful, then I will request you to like this video and leave us a comment with your questions. Or you can even let us know the next video that you want us to make on PMP, and we will be happy to look into it. See you until next time, and good luck with your PMP prep journey.